Hi there, viewers of Royal Television. Good day and welcome to the Green Hour, your 1 hour program full of environmental talks, environmental causes, solutions, possible havocs that will happen or can happen within our community. Why not in all of Africa and the world? We come up every Saturday at this time on Royal Television, and I'm your host. Feel free to call me Nanga Sonia. Broadcaster for the day, we have Issa Crew. It's a 1 hour program which promises to be intriguing and why not fun, as always, with you all glued into your TV sets. And our topic of today discusses on flooding in Cameroon, causes, impacts, and possible solutions. We all know that every rainy season, many communities across Cameroon experience flooding. Yes, they experience a lot of flooding. Roads become impassable, homes are damaged, businesses suffer during this season, and in some cases, lives are even lost. And so, cities such as Douala, other cities as Yaoundé, frequently experience urban flooding, and heavy areas or hilly areas, I want to say, like Boya, they also usually face risk of flash floods, why not landslides and severe soil erosion. So although heavy rainfall is a natural phenomenon, I want to say that many floods are made worse by human activities such as poor waste disposal, blocked drainage systems, and deforestation and unplanned urban development. So today on the Green Hour, we will explore why flooding continues to affect many communities in Cameroon, what its environmental, economic, and health impacts are, and the practical solutions that governments, communities, and individuals can implement to reduce these risks. Once again, good afternoon, and thank you for choosing Voyard TV to have a fun-filled afternoon with us. And so today our discussion points will be focusing on what flooding is all about. We will as well tell you why flooding becomes or why it's becoming more common in Cameroon. We will also talk about environmental impacts and social and economic impacts as well, health risks that involve flooding, and those who are most vulnerable when aspects such as flooding occur, and why not possible solutions. In the course of the program, we will be having a guest. Yes, our guest is already right here. But then, before we go get our guest for the day, I want you to ask yourself, what then is flooding? I want to say flooding will only occur when water overflows onto land that is normally dry. So it may result from heavy or prolonged rainfall. It may result from overflowing rivers and streams, gutters around our doors, poor drainage systems as well. And rapid urbanization is also a factor as to why flooding occurs. So, why is flooding becoming more common in Cameroon? Is a question that has frequently been asked. So, all of that we get to talk about it today on the Green Hour. And so, some major causes of why flooding is becoming more rampant or common in our country is the aspect of climate change, leading to heavier and more unpredictable rainfall. And so we have improper waste disposal. It begins with a plastic, with a bottle, with a wrapper. It just begins with dirt. When you throw it or you dispose it, you don't do it well, there will be blockage. Gutters will be blocked, drainages go blocked, and all of that are some of the factors that come to like bring out this aspect of flooding. And so deforestation is also another aspect as to why flooding is becoming rampant or common in Cameroon. Why not loss of wetlands? Loss of wetlands which naturally stores excess water. So inadequate drainage infrastructure is also a factor, and poor maintenance of such are some of the reasons why flooding is becoming more common in our country, Cameroon. So when we want to talk about environmental aspects on flooding, we will talk about core the fact that it causes severe soil erosion. We will also mention that it triggers landslides, it destroys forest and vegetation, why not pollutes rivers and streams. It will go as far as damaging wildlife habitats and wash waste and chemicals into water bodies. Those are some of the environmental impacts of flooding. Let's also see some of the social and why not economic impacts of flooding, where we'll get to tell you the aspect that flooding affects people by destroying homes and personal property. We've seen a lot of this in Limbe. We've also seen instances as such in Douala. People get to stand on their roofs. Their properties are within their homes. They can't access their homes. Why? Because there is flooding. Flooding everywhere. They can't navigate the streets. They can't go about their daily activities. Already, when you can't go out because your house or your area is flooded, how then do you fend for yourself and why not your family? So it displaces families. And when these things occur and they are finally maybe evacuated from the area, it causes displacement. You start moving from one area to another. Perhaps that was your house you had built. You're forced to move out. You start again from zero because you need to rent elsewhere. You need to seek for shelter in another area. Why not at a family member's house? Will you then be comfortable? So all of these are aspects or social and economic aspects of flooding. We will also talk about the fact that it damages roads, bridges, and public infrastructure. Let's bring you back to Boya. We will talk about the area at Sampit. We usually see what happens when there is too much rain around that area. It goes onto the road, it separates the roads will get blocked, no possible means of transportation from that area, and people who live around there tend to suffer. And so it also destroys crops. That is why, in most cases, when flooding occurs, food becomes expensive in the market. Crops are washed away, they are destroyed. No proper accountability. And so it interrupts schools and businesses. As parents, you all can relate to this fact or the fact that when there is too much rain and there's flooding, you won't advise your child to go out for school. You hear parents wanting to tell you, "Naso over school that picking they the right now GCE," and words like that because flooding has occurred. And so it increases poverty. We all know that rainy season or the rainy season comes with its own aspect of slow progress. That is why they'll always advise humans to work or to save up like ants, where you prepare yourself during the dry season so it doesn't affect you when it is the rainy season. It also comes in with health risk, where we would have cholera. When there is flood, you have aspects such as cholera, typhoid, diarrhea, because everything is being washed off. The water is not clean. If you drink, sometimes you carry water from your faucets at home, you'll notice that the color of that water is no longer pure. It's not white, it's not clean. So for those who cannot access potable water, what then happens? They need to drink what they are having at home, and when you do so, it causes diarrhea. Why not cholera and typhoid? Usually malaria too, due to stagnant water. Yes, when water has been left for so long, it becomes or it happens like that. And so contaminated drinking water is also a factor. Yes, some pipes they are rot, and during this season they get cracked open. And when all of that happens, what then happens to you who is at home waiting to get potable and why not drinkable water? So all of that and more we will be digesting in the course of the Green Hour. Beautiful people, like I did tell you from the very beginning. Our focus today or our topic today is on flooding in Cameroon, causes, impacts, and possible solutions. Like I did tell you from the very start, we will be having a guest on the show today. Our guest is here. Let's take on a break and come back. But before going for that break, we will have on our screen a little animated video of how it goes with flooding. It begins with you. It starts with a plastic. When you throw here, another person comes and again and throws there. it becomes a heap, it blocks that drainage, and why not? There will be flooding. So let's take on this break, watch that little animated video. When we come back, we will be taking our guest on the Green Hour for today to better digest this topic of the day. You're welcome back to the studios of Royal Television, dear viewers. It's still the Green Hour on your screen. And we did tell you that we will be having a guest on today's edition of the program. And we are currently joined here in the studios of Royal Television by Jimla Robert, who is a brilliant technical expert in dynamic youth leader and frontline climate and environmental advocate. He is right here in the studios of Royal TV. He also holds an MSc in disaster risk management and a BSc in geology from the University of Boya, alongside a national diploma in land survey. Currently, he serves as the Climate Action Program Coordinator at Voice of Nature, that's VONAT, where he actively works directly with communities to design climate smart programs, execute disaster risk reduction, and lead local risk mapping initiatives. He is right here on the Green Hour. Ndimla Robert, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you so much for making it a deal with us on the Green Hour today.
Oh, it's a pleasure here.
Today we are focusing on flooding in Cameroon. We are also talking about possible causes and why not solutions. So we have a couple of questions that we would like to ask you, since you are the expert in this field, we know you have a lot that you will be telling us in the course of the program. All right, so the very first question I have for you today on the Green Hour is flooding seems to occur almost every rainy season in many parts of Cameroon. Where are the main, or what are the main reasons behind this recurring problem?
Yeah, it keep rising over the years, and we talking about flooding, we normally have two systems designed. We have the natural designs
Mm-hmm,
and we have the human design.
mm-hmm,
When we talk about the natural designs, we have to look at our landscape within Cameroon. At the far north, we have the flat topography,
okay.
which often makes the water to overflow out of its banks.
Mm-hmm,
First of all, what is flooding? Flooding is simply a situation where our water channels can no longer hold the waters within, and
mm-hmm.
it causes it now to flow
Overflow.
overflows.
Mm-hmm,
Or in the situations where the ground can no longer absorb the water, so
mm-hmm,
it cannot filtrate, so it is now forced to move upon the
mm-hmm,
surface of the ground.
mm-hmm,
That is called surface water, which is flowing, and that is likened to be flooding.
mm-hmm.
When we talk about the human design or the human structure, the human system, it has to do with now human activities.
Mm-hmm.
So it is these two structures or two systems that causes the flooding we are having or witnessing and experiencing in the country.
All right. So, to what extent is climate change influencing the intensity and frequency of flooding in the country?
Climate change, you know, climate change we have been talking about, and to talking about what extent it actually influences. Now, climate change doesn't hurt the waters.
Okay.
Yes, it only alters its deliverability.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, it alters the water cycles.
Okay.
So what we are experiencing within our nation and across the globe is just an alter of the water cycle or
Mm.
the hydrological water cycle. So when this is altered, that is what gives room to the things we are experiencing now.
All right. Sorry to divert a little bit from that. Could you
Yeah,
just help highlight more on what climate change is all about?
good. In the recent years, we have been experiencing increase in temperature.
Mm-hmm.
That's climate change.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we talk about climate change, the very first thing that comes into our mind is what an increase in temperature, which is caused by a lot of, so many factors put together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are the biggest environmental consequences of repeated flooding, especially in areas like Boya and other flood-prone communities?
Yeah. Talking about environmental, consequences of this climate change related hazard, which is flooding. Yeah. Let's begin with the human factor first of all.
Okay.
Yeah. When flooding happens, when flooding occurs in an area, what happens? Buildings are destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
We have infrastructural damages. We also have food insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
We have diseases that we are prone to, we are exposed to. This vulnerability, yeah, diseases like typhoid, malaria, dysentery, and the likes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking about no the natural settings, we have noticed that our landscape keep being deformed by
Okay.
this water that is not controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And now water doesn't have a memory.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, water knew that this is its pathway.
Mm-hmm.
So when it is blocked by human tendencies as
Mm-hmm.
far urbanization is
Mm-hmm.
concerned,
Mm-hmm.
whenever it rains, water will not recall that, oh, my channels have been,
Exactly.
yes. So it will definitely want to pass it because it knows that it has always been passing here.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are some of the consequences we'll always keep having. And, as I said, environmental degradation,
Mm-hmm.
uh, no, uh, buildings are being
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah.
Economically, soil erosions,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, our fertile
It causes
soils,
displacement as well.
displacement,
Yeah.
property loss,
Property laws and all of
yeah,
that, because some time ago we experienced a phenomenon where we had water coming from the mountain,
mhm,
and around the quarters that water was termed black water, and it happened to go into the house of a friend of mine. So for the very first time after that flood, it was mud flood anyway. When I went there to check out what happened, it was so terrible. I saw how soaked their chairs. How then do you even begin washing. And when all of that was happening, they had to run away because it could carry them off to somewhere who knows where. A child happened to die around Boya town because of that same aspect, you know. So all of that, I think, is very correct and a plus to that point.
Yeah, that water was called laha. It
Okay.
is a situation where volcanic soil from the mountain
Mm-hmm.
mixes with the water,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives rise to that muddy
Mm-hmm.
water.
Okay.
Yeah, it is called laha. It is very terrible and it is bad. Most of the times when we're talking about flooding, uh, we always say, what is so
Mm-hmm.
special about it that even
Yeah.
advanced countries like America, Germany, they also experience it. The reason
Mm-hmm.
why,
Even Dubai recently
Ye-
experienced flooding.
yeah, no, the reason why they are
Mm.
experiencing it is because of the human system or the human design, which I did mention about.
But sometimes we can't help but wonder why they do experience such, because we all know that if we want to talk about classification of countries, they are at the top are first world countries, you see. So when they already know that if you do like this and you don't do like this is what will happen, and they are still experiencing it, sometimes we can't help but wonder why this is happening to them.
Yeah, that is what has given rise to our African mentality, that we are like, if they are experiencing it, therefore there is nothing
You
we
see?
can. Yeah, which is not actually true. They
Okay.
have built a very wonderful sound system
Mm-hmm.
to cope and adapt with it
Okay.
as a result of the mistakes they did in the past,
Mm-hmm.
which was development,
Mm-hmm.
an aspect of urbanization,
Indeed.
deforestations, and many other things
Mm-hmm.
that we may mention in the course of
Okay.
our discussion.
Thank you so much for throwing more light on that. But then let's go back to ask, or let me ask you, many people do blame plastic waste for blocked drains. How significant is poor waste management in worsening floods?
No, that is a serious, I don't know, it's a serious problem we are
Mm,
actually battling with. Yeah, talking about waste disposal, no, this thing cannot be managed by the government alone.
yes,
Yes,
it begins with us,
with us
the
at our
communities.
doorsteps.
Yes.
Yeah, each time you deposit a plastic at your gutter or on the way, when it rains, water takes it to the gutter,
Mm-hmm.
and when it meets no an obstacle, say a culvert,
Yes, or a
yeah,
stone.
goat,
Mm-hmm.
it is stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
No, these things doesn't degrade. It
Mm-hmm.
can last for millions of years.
Very true, because we used to see mothers, especially when it rains heavily, with their sticks in front of the house trying to push away plastics they didn't throw,
Mhm.
but it got stuck in
Yeah,
front of their doors.
yeah. So you see, when from at the obstacles, it will stay there, and when water comes now, it
Mm-hmm.
will no longer pass because the path has been blocked by
Mm-hmm.
these past plastics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing when it gets to the water banks, it also settles there and forms and builds a dike.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that dies now, as it accumulates over and over and over, more other plastics comes and joins it,
Mm-hmm.
and what happens, the water course is now narrowed, and
Mm-hmm.
water cannot effectively pass there. And when water cannot pass, what happens is that water also creates its own path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we are blocking the water path, let's also make provision for another.
I get it.
Yeah, so that's the main challenge we are having with the waste disposal.
So, with this point we've given you on plastic waste disposal, what would you advise people or viewers who are watching to do in order not to have blocked drains and overflowing rivers?
This is highly recommendable.
Mm-hmm.
Every household should have a trash can.
Okay.
Yes. If every household or city, hostel can have a trash can where they trash there. It is true that maybe Highsecam and all the right, they are not
Mm-hmm.
that effective.
Isakam,
Yes,
yeah.
they are not that effective, but it's okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. We know that it requires so much, but if we have our trash cans where we actually put together some of these and adequately dispose them at maybe the various centers, it
Mm-hmm.
will save.
You know, the issue with us humans that I have seen and I've noticed is this. We've had points around town where trash bins were being disposed so that people around that community will come with their dirt, dispose the dirt inside the bins. I've seen an instant where that bin is there. someone doesn't go so close to the bin, he ends up dropping out of the bin. Some will toss the dirt, it goes on to fall on the other side of the bin. You come, you meet an empty bin, whereas there's trash everywhere. As humans, when it happens, like especially during this rainy season, it's so nasty. You go all around Boya, which used to be a very sweet, clean city. Go along the stretch of Bitingi Market. The trash you see there mixed with the rain. So this, I'm just adding to that point where even if we have workers who are in charge of disposing or proper disposal of the waste, it begins with us respecting the norms and the boundaries. Because why would there be an empty trash and someone will just go close to that trash and decides to throw his or her dirt out of the trash? But we see this often.
Yeah.
What then can we do? That will be another question for another day. All right, let's also talk about the fact that how do deforestation and destruction of wetlands contribute to flooding and soil erosion? Maybe you throw more light on the aspect of this deforestation and what is wetland.
Okay. Just as I was saying, what these advanced countries are actually suffering from is deforestation.
Okay.
Yeah, they had deforested all their forest land.
They needed to build skyscrapers.
Yeah, yeah. And we're actually benefiting
I
from
mean.
Yeah. So when they deforested their forest land and bare up what we are admiring and enjoying today,
taking pictures in front, and
yeah. So it gave rise now to a bare ground because the canopies were destroyed, and when the canopies are destroyed, it gives direct contacts to the soil, and water or precipitation, when there is a downpour, water goes directly to the ground. And when this water goes down to the ground, we now start having uncoordinated water flow. Yeah. So this deforestation related to flood, because deforestation normally helps to make our slopes, where it's a slopy area.
Yes.
But with deforestation, it makes our slopes to be more gentle.
Okay.
It makes our slopes to be more stable because the roots helps to serve as anchors, soil anchors, to hold or bind the soils together. But when these trees are cut and removed, what happens? The soil is now left loose and it can no longer be guarded.
Okay.
And when it rains, this rain now
washes away the soil, causing soil erosion. Wow. Thank you so much. And beautiful people, if you are just tuning in, you are onto the Green Hour. We come up every day on your screens, every Saturday, I would say. And so we are joined here by Dimla Robert, who is a climate action, a climate action program coordinator at Voice of Nature, Vonat. We take on a break. When we come back, the Green Hour continues for you.
Looking for a powerful way to make your business stand out? Want your products and services to reach thousands of people every single day? Welcome to Royal Advertising Agency, your mobile publicity powerhouse. With our fully equipped advertising van fitted with high-quality speakers, we take your message directly to the streets, directly to the people, directly to your customers. From busy markets to neighborhoods, junctions, events, and business areas, we move around town broadcasting your adverts loud and clear, creating massive visibility for your brand. And that's not all. Our advertising van also comes with strategic spaces for posters, banners, and flyers, turning every movement into a moving billboard for your business. Need more impact? Our energetic promotional team is ready to distribute flyers hand to hand across town, helping your brand connect directly with the public. We offer free business consultancy, audio and video spot production, graphic designs of all types. Whether you're promoting a new product, announcing an event, running a campaign, or growing your business, Royal Advertising Agency is your trusted partner for effective outdoor publicity. Don't just advertise, dominate the streets with visibility. Call now 670-743-034. Royal Advertising Agency, taking your business everywhere.
You're welcome back, televiewers. This is Royal TV for you. You are locked onto the Green Hour. I'm your host. Feel free to call me Nanga Sonia. And our focus today has been on flooding in Cameroon, causes, impacts, and possible solutions. We have an expert here. Yes, he has been here a couple of minutes now, helping us dissect this topic of today. We want to know more about why we have floods around our country, why we have soil erosion, deforestation, and of course, possible solutions as to the fact that we have flooding in Cameroon. All right, let's go on with our question. Dimla Robert, welcome back.
Thank you.
Flooding also poses serious public and health risk. What diseases become more common after floods, and how can communities protect themselves when these happen?
Okay, when surface water enters our pit latrine,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is that it actually brings out the refuse from it.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes our borehole water or our domestic water no longer safe for drinking is because of this water.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we interact with this water, there is a tendency that we will definitely be prone to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We have cholera, which comes as a result of this water that is
Mm-hmm.
unsafe for drinking.
Okay.
They use water to, is very muddy. It has passed from
Yeah,
all sorts of
pipes, different
environments.
environments, and
Yeah,
back to us.
yeah. So it doesn't just contaminate our boreholes, but our catchments, it gets into our pipes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it causes typhoid.
Mm-hmm.
It causes cholera. Now, in a situation where we have maybe potholes or standing waters around our homes, at times children, they play in this water.
Mm-hmm.
And this water, the water as such, it houses some kind of animals, and
Mm-hmm.
not just malaria, ponds for malaria,
Yeah.
but insects. So these children too, they are also prone. So there are lots of health, related diseases these days that we are exposed to as a result of this flooding, which we are talking about.
All right.
Yeah, but so common, we have the cholera, typhoid, and malaria.
Okay. Thank you. Permit me take on this break, and we'll be right back in a moment. Welcome back, dear viewers. All right, let's go on with our discussion. I would like to ask you, what practical steps would you advise local councils and government institutions to take to reduce flood risk before and during the rainy season?
Yeah, it's a collective approach,
Mm-hmm.
and to begin with our government institution, let's be proactive. We are more on the reactive side.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like our government stakeholders, they are not aware of this. We have a department that is well established.
Mm-hmm.
With Minat, there is a department called the
Yes.
Department of Civil Protection that handles all of this.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are well empowered. They know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a call for us to be responsible in that. If we are given the opportunity to save, let's save no, rightfully.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about our local council, this is a challenge. It's a huge challenge
Okay.
because we most of talking about urbanizations or building sites that are fit for building
Mm-hmm.
blocking our water channels or our water pathways. The truth is that we have the sites or the zones that are already mapped that are fit for residential areas, that
Mm-hmm.
are fit for construction, for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
housing. But when we go to the council now, what happens is that we go and start talking, speaking, I don't know, sympathy language.
Yeah.
Yes, and when this stakeholder doesn't visa any building plan,
Mm-hmm.
we now tell them to be, maybe, I don't know, arrogant, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And the truth is that we have what we call gentrification, whereby
Okay.
the rich, build or occupy, the
Mm-hmm.
safe zones, and the vulnerable, the poor, they are now
Yeah.
pushed to the extremes.
Yes.
Yeah. So some of these things are factors. What about a poor man who cannot afford a land
Mm-hmm.
and is now forced to go to a site that is unsafe,
Yeah.
very unstable? So those are some of the realities that we find. But the truth is that let's stick to our policies as a government, stakeholders, and at the council. Let's stick to our policies. We have amazing policies. They are
And you
there.
see, sometimes they will accept or give out building permits to areas where they know are not the best, you know. And sometimes these flood, when it occurred in Boya some time ago, when we had that mud flow that came down from the mountain. You see, the pathway, just like water doesn't, you said water does not have any memory.
Mhm.
That pathway used to be open. That was the pathway water used to use many, many years ago. And the water or the mud flow, it just came down like that, knowing that that road was still there. But now we have seen the fact that people had built houses along the way. And these permits, I sometimes sit and wonder, where did they get them?
Where do they get them exactly? You know,
Then the same council will come around and tell you you need to demolish. But they were the ones who gave out those building permits. Or are they trying to sometimes say that these persons who have built their houses around such areas did not come for permits? I don't think so. So a lot of questions that sometimes we wonder. And we are expecting that the day will come on the green hour where we'll have a council official to tell us more of these things. All right, so let's also talk about simple actions that household can take to protect their homes and neighborhoods from flooding.
first of all, it begins with education.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's actually deal with this thing, this stereotyped mindset.
Enough
Yeah, that
sensitization.
is a kind of oyibo, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oyibo
You both
knowledge,
thinking.
yeah, oyibo thinking, philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's be realistic. We are seeing the harm that this hazard,
Mm-hmm.
is causing to us,
Mm-hmm.
and we are not happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have people that are being killed on daily
Yeah,
basis.
correct.
Yeah, so let's be realistic. So the very first thing is let's have a paradigm shift.
Okay.
Yes, and let's also be responsible, as I said, knowing that my actions would definitely affect my closest neighbor.
Okay.
Yes, so if I'm disposing any waste, no matter how costly it is, 5 franc, 25 franc,
Mm-hmm.
when I dispose that waste wrongly, it will affect my neighbor, and it
Mm-hmm.
will also affect my children.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first thing, let's be responsible in how we dispose our waste. Let's also learn how we can also contribute and manage our environment
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. Yeah, let's not just be depending on the council, on the government. No, the government, we have been depending on the government for a very long time. But
Mm-hmm.
is there any?
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. So when will help come? We don't know. So at our
Indeed.
own little corner, let's be good stewards,
Mm-hmm.
and let's be responsible. Let's practice what we actually wish some people practice,
What we
and
preach.
yeah, what we preach.
Thank you so much. Slowly but surely, we are getting closer to the end of our question session for the day. But then, before we go, how important is community participation, such as regular cleanup campaigns and tree planting, in preventing floods?
Yeah, very important. And I'm a good preacher in that. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is never perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is never perfect until we have the perfect result. But if we have not had the perfect result so far, I think let's intensify.
Yeah.
I like what Boya has been doing, keep Boya clean, but how
Mm-hmm.
effective has it been? We can
We
still,
talked about that sometime with another guest on the Green Hour, where we said, keep Boya clean. You see persons leaving from their houses at the 12 o'clock, but you go to their store area, it's not clean.
yeah.
Their gutters are still dirty, but they just know they need to stay home, everywhere closed.
Yeah. So you see that the problem now is not the idea.
Mm-hmm.
The council or the administrator, they had a good idea,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a good solution
Mm-hmm.
to actually solve the problem we are having. But now, look at what the communities are doing.
Mm-hmm.
We took it, instead of us celebrating and seeing how we can also support them and ensure
Mm-hmm.
what they have.
Now we have clean
Yeah,
streets and gutters.
yeah, but we are instead fighting against them. And when they come out and take resolutions against us or some actions against us, we are now complaining. And so let's be responsible.
All right. Thank you so much. And last question for the day. Looking ahead, what long-term measures should Cameroon prioritize to be more resilient communities and reduce the impact of flooding?
We're talking about long-term
Mm-hmm.
measure. We have been talking about these things for a very long time, and
Just say it
yeah,
again.
I at times I feel very frightened saying this, because yeah, oh my God, let's improve on our infrastructure, our roads, our waterways. We are talking about afforestation. Let's promote it. If we are cutting down good canopies, let's also be able to do what? To plant good canopies trees. Let's see how we can strengthen this knowledge. What is happening that despite the so much knowledge about all of these things, we still have very less impact or improvement in our society. The problem is either the manner at which the knowledge is being dispensed, or the people dispensing the knowledge. So if the people dispensing the knowledge have a problem, then the people receiving it will not be well impacted. Yes, so it begins from our very administrators. If they want to be good promoters, let us see the excellence in them.
Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't just end maybe at their ACs and no. Let us want to see it actionable. Yeah.
All right. So before we take leave of you, your last words to our viewers.
Let's be good stewards of our environment.
Okay.
Knowing that our every action of today is going to haunt our generations to come.
Thank you so much, Sendimla Robert, for joining us on Set the Green Hour today. Yes, of course, he is the Climate Action Program Coordinator at Voice of Nature, Vonad, here in Boya, and he actively works directly with communities to design climate-smart programs, execute disaster risk reduction, as well as lead local risk mapping initiatives. He's been a guest on the Green Hour today. Once again, thank you. We're wishing you the best of this day.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here.
Dear viewers, let's take on this break. When we come back, we bring you some did you know facts regarding our topic of the day, which is flooding. As you all know, on the Green Hour, we always make sure to bring you intriguing facts. And of course, our facts today focuses on the aspect of flooding. Remember, our main topic of the day has been flooding in Cameroon, causes, impacts, and a possible solution. So, number one, did you know fact for you today? Did you know that a single plastic bottle or plastic bag can block a drainage channel and contribute to flooding during heavy rainfall? Number two, did you know that Trees act like natural sponges, absorbing rainwater and helping to reduce flooding and soil erosion. Did you know that? Number 3, did you know wetlands naturally store excess rainwater, reducing the risk of floods in nearby communities? Number 4, did you know that building houses on floodplains or natural waterways increases the likelihood of flood damage and puts lives at risk? Did you know that? Number 5, did you know floodwater is often contaminated with sewage, chemicals, and waste, making it unsafe to walk or play in it? Did you know? Number 6, did you know that after flooding, stagnant water becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes, increasing the risk of malaria? Did you know that? Number 7, did you know climate change is contributing to more intense rainfall events, making floods more frequent and severe in many parts of the world, including Cameroon? Did you know that? Number 8 point, did you know keeping drains and gutters free of rubbish before and during the rainy season can significantly reduce the risk of flooding in your neighborhood? So it starts with you. Did you know? Number 9, did you know that soil erosion caused by floods can wash away fertile farmland, reducing crop yields and threatening food security? And the last but not the least fact for the day, did you know that flood preparedness saves lives? Knowing safe evacuation routes, listening to weather warnings, and having an emergency plan can greatly reduce the impact of flooding on families and on the communities. All of that are some facts that you need to know, and not just know about them, put them into practice, put them into consideration, and see how our lives, our environment will become better. So for possible solutions we gathered today from our expert for the day, he talked about food risk, and that can be reduced through poor waste management, regular cleaning of drainage systems, tree planting to reduce runoff and erosion. Of course, protecting wetlands and riverbanks. We also saw that enforcing urban planning regulations is important. Why not investing in better drainage infrastructure? Community awareness campaigns is a must. Is one of the factors of sensitization that must go on. If you are not aware, if you're not informed, you are deformed. So early warning systems and emergency preparedness is also a possible solution, where if we all as humans, as members of our different communities, put in practice or in place, I bet you we will have a better country. Why not a better world? Beautiful people of the Green Hour, we have definitely come to the end of today's edition of the Green Hour. It's been a lovely ride with all of you. I just want to let you know that flooding is not only a natural event, it is often intensified by human activities. So what you do, the plastics, the bottles, the papers, the waste you throw into drainages, into gutters, is what will help cause that flooding. So it should begin with you. Action should start with you. Practice what you preach. So while we cannot as well stop the rain, we can actually reduce its impact through responsible waste management, environmental conservation, proper urban planning, and collective community action. Every citizen has a role to play in keeping drains clear, in protecting forests and wetlands, in promoting sustainable practices that make our communities safer, and why not more resilient. We've definitely come to the end of the Green Hour. Thank you all for watching. Stay glued to Royal TV. Remember, we come up every Saturday. And on the program today, we were focusing on flooding in Cameroon, impacts, causes, and possible solutions. We got joined here by our guest, who happens to be Ndimla Robert, who is the Climate Action Program Coordinator at Voice of Nature Vumad in Boya. I have been your host on the program. Feel free to call me Nanga Sonia. Broadcaster for the day has been Isa Crow. This is Royal TV. It's an enjoyable weekend from me to you. Bye bye.